All right, welcome back to Bleach 1000 Year Blood War. This is Core 3, episode 37, whatever the fuck. Shadow's gone. Last time, it's been a year. it's been over a year since I've recorded Bleach. Last time, what happened? It was Nemu, right? And Mayuri. And we ended, okay, so you know where we are, okay? If you're watching this, you know what episode this is. Just for transparency, I try to be as transparent as I can about spoilers and stuff because it's been a year and because I just haven't watched this episode or the last, I think I had 3 or 4 more episodes, maybe more. I could have like 5. I don't know. I actually don't know how many episodes I still have left in this core. Anyways, just, you know, I've gotten thumbnails, I've gotten titles, YouTube like titles, spoilers, so like generic stuff. I know this is going to be about not Lisa, Nanao. So I'm wondering if I did choose a bad time to stop recording, but I'm wondering if I chose a bad time because like how we had Baby Hold Your Hand part 1 and then we had Shunsui's fight. And then we had Baby Hold Your Hand part 2. I'm wondering if this is going to be Shunsui's fight part 2, basically. Just because it seemed really, I don't want to say simple, because it wasn't simple. You know, for being the first of Yuhabaha's children, or whatever the fuck. What's his name? Lilibaro. He kind of went down easier than I would expect. And I'm really curious, you know, like, where else do we go? You know, basically, we have so many episodes left in this core, right? And I know there's a whole other core coming out, like, in a month or so, I want to say. So that's part of why I'm recording now. But, you know, who have we got to deal with? We have Askin, Uryu, which I have some theories based on, again, spoilers, stuff that I've seen. I have a feeling we're going to get the the reveal that he's a double agent. But yeah, we have Askin, Uryu. We have the Valkyrie, whatever his name is. Pranita's probably dead, finally. Because we've killed him twice now. So, like, I'm assuming Pranita's dead. So that's 3 people. I feel like I'm missing... Oh, Hoshwalth, right? Number 4. Okay. And I also, again, I know, spoiler, he's gonna fight somebody. So, like, I'm just wondering, you know, we still have 4 people left to fight. Are we going to fight them now? Or are we going to fight them next core? We have Yuhaba himself, so 5. Anyways, I'm just curious. I think it would be interesting if they do, you know, especially with Shadows gone. I mean, like, it's... Kyoraku is Shadows, like, I feel like it's going to be another Kyoraku, you know, fake out, okay, we didn't really kill him the first time, we're going to kill him the second time, Lilibaro. So, that's my prediction. Anyways, let's get into this episode, because I babbled enough. Little flashback? I thought that was Kuko Injo. We know that's Kyoraku, right? Ah! Whose man's is this? This is brother? Ah! I told you he wasn't dead yet. Hell nah. Okay, I'm gonna rewatch the opening. See if I can get spoiled again. More spoilers. Respoiled. What happened with Osho? Like, I feel like we didn't really cover that. He was just like, I'm sorry. I fucked up. Or whatever he said. You know, he's just like, I'm sorry, Soul Reapers. What do you mean? Are you betraying us? Are you, you know, for greater good? What's going on? Okay, yeah, they're really spoiling a lot of these fights, huh? This is crazy spoilers. Like, fucking... all the matchups? Uryu versus Renji even? So who is who? Like, who's brother, who's sister? Hello? What the hell? We'll talk about it at the end. Oh, what the fuck? What was that? What? How? Boy, wake up. Your Zanbakuto? What do you... I was just about to say, he has two, so where's the second Zanbakuto? Like, I don't think his Bankai is both of the swords. Ah! These fucking beams are crazy. Hello? Wait. Hello? You're in the Shadow Realm? What's going on? Nuba, what? What are we talking about? Okay. I was gonna say, I know this design from... I watched the filler arcs a long time ago. Okay. What? What is this dude? I need to talk about this at the end. Like, I don't have enough time to talk about it right now. Oh, hello. She was my older brother's wife. Okay, so you are related to the brother. I was gonna say, so does that make him her uncle? I was just doing the mental math. I'm like, they're related, right? Ah. Okay, I don't like that. Okay. So that's where her sword is within his sword? I feel like I missed something about why the sword is related to the curse, but... Oh. It's like it's a sword passed down instead of... Wait, I missed it. Is there it reflects? Refracts? Attacks? Ooh, look at how beautiful. Why would you tell her? Why would you say that? That's your whole thing. Oh, he is wearing it, isn't he? He's wearing the hair. Oh my god. Is that her kimono also? Another woman's kimono? My gosh. Because you already have a Zanbakuto, that's crazy. This music. Ah! Sir! Ah! You were saying? I thought it cut. I mean, it did. Hold it up, reflect! Oh. Because they're kind of a... they're not a noble clan, but like... they are like a royal-ish. I really need to sit and think about this episode so far. Like, there's so much lore drops, but also just the relationship between these characters and the reflections. You know, I'm always brought back to the fact that Zanbakuto are like reflections of our soul. So what does it mean? You know, what does it all mean? You know, his dual Zanbakuto. It's not that Kyokutsu, whatever her name is, that wasn't Nanao's Zanbakuto, but she was like the child to his other cotton, I guess. I don't know. Girl, I know you're not a fighter, but you gotta fight. What in the spirit bomb? That means you're strong, girl. That means you're strong. If he's trusting you, girl, what the hell? Hello? Okay, this is your guys' planet. Hello? Is he still alive, really? Are you dead? I don't know. I just don't trust it. Like, I feel like he's gonna reform into some more bullshit. Like, get away from those feathers. You're about to. Okay, so this is Basby, right? Friend. Oh god. Okay, so here's the thing. Like I said, I really need to sit with this episode. Both of his episodes. I mean, this wasn't his episode; it was hers episodes. But like, you know what I mean? The last time with his Bankai episode, and then now here with her, and you know the revelation that she's technically his niece, right? I don't know. It's I need to like. A part of me was talking over some of the subtitles, and so I couldn't comprehend what I was reading. Some of it, but I think basically the gist is his brother. We don't get a name for it. He marries the Nanao's mom, who is Issei. You know the family name, right? And then because there is this curse. For whatever reason, the Issei family is cursed. They are matrilineal. They always have daughters. And the men in the families always seem to die off, right? So to escape the curse, the mom decides, I'm going to marry into Kyoraku instead of Kyoraku marrying into Issei. And so it still doesn't work. Shunsui's brother dies. Because of the death, she eventually goes back to her own, the Issei family, the Issei clan. Sometime during that, I guess after that, she entrusts the Zanpakuto to Shunsui. And so we discover, again, this part that I kind of missed a little bit. We discover that her clan is like some priest clan. They don't have Zanpakuto. They have this singular one artifact basically that gets passed down from generation to generation. Nobody gets their own. That's why she said she was in the Soul Hero Academy, but her Asauchi didn't take place, or didn't stick because she already had a Zanpakuto. It's this reflecting mirror thing, right? I get the gist that it reflects, but I missed the specific line they said, like what the power is. I really like the idea that it has no blade of its own. It just reflects powers back at them. I'm more just caught up in, or I'm more lost in just like the family tree dynamic of it and the curse of it. And again, I'm just thinking about the fact that Zanpakuto so often are reflections, pun intended a little bit. They are reflections of their wielder, and so with Kyoraku, I'm trying to think, okay, he has the two Zanpakuto. I wanted to mention before they talked about whole give me my Zanpakuto when she showed up. But we have Ohana. I'm going to call her Ohana. I don't know. I missed that line too. I saw something about Ohana and Oken or somebody like, oh yeah, I don't know. Okono, maybe? I don't know. But, it's Katen and Kyokutsu, right? Those are his two Zanpakuto. And so now all of a sudden we have this Ohana and Okono or whatever the fuck their names are. So I'm trying to like piece that together too. But, I think, I like that he is like a womanizer personality type. But then through his backstory, we learn he's not really devoted to one singular woman other than like a respect thing. That it kind of sheds light into that line a couple episodes ago about how he's wearing another woman's kimono that's presumably Nanao's mom. They didn't really touch on why he wore it again, but fill in the blanks a little bit here. Like, it's like, okay, he stopped wearing the kimono, but then obviously in present day he's still wearing the kimono. So, and the hairpins. It's like quite obviously whatever relationship they had is like not rekindled, but like he's honoring that promise, I guess, to Nanao's mom. I really like that. Sorry, I was gonna say I really like that tender moment of him being like, I'm tired of being the one to shoulder the burdens, and I want to like, I want somebody else to take the responsibility for me. That was a really nice character moment because he is so often, we've seen him being so lazy and stuff, but like it is, I don't know. I've always been, I don't want to say attracted, but like, yes, attracted. I've always liked his character so much, even in the original Bleach. Like even back, obviously the very first time we see him, not the very first time, but the first encounter we get, it's him versus Chad, and it just like sets such a great precedent for his character of like he's not bloodthirsty, he's not doing that, he's doing his job, but like he's not here to be crazy like Soifon, for example. He's not like we must destroy everybody. He's just like, okay, I guess we gotta stop these intruders. If you want to have some tea, whatever. I love that personality. And then what I really loved his character shining in the Fake Karakura Town arc when he fights Stark. Obviously, we just get to see a glimpse of his power, but also just how his personality type. He's deceptive. He is not afraid to use underhanded tactics, and so. But at the end of the day, he's also such a sincere. It's a weird thing of like he is deceptive, and he will use ploys, he will use trickery to get the upper hand, but also he's very honest, he's very like straightforward with what he wants. He's like, he's not trying to do anything other than like win. He's gonna tell you that. I don't know, even as I'm saying that, it's wrong, but I just love that duality of like he is such an earnest character, but also there is this darkness within him. Obviously, and then the shadow play, more literally the shadows and stuff. So I just really love his character. All that to say, I love his character. And I think that this episode really delved into it a bit more of more of the sincerity and more of the, what he's hiding, I guess. With all this deception, with all the shadow work, he is hiding this pain of like being the one responsible for everything all the time. It's the Nanao part that kind of like, I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm still stuck on the fact of like, is he her uncle? Are they related? Because they always had such a weird thing. Obviously, him and Lisa have more of a thing, but there is, and then like, why does Lisa look like that? Does she just happens to look like that? I don't know. It makes me wonder, like, is Lisa part of this? No, she's not, because her last name is Yadomaru, right? But I don't know. It's just now it just like makes me question everything about what the fuck, the family tree. Why does the now have this sword? But I like that. Basically, his sword. At first, I was like, okay, it explains why he has two Zanbakuto, because we've always been told Ukitake and Kyoraku were the only ones with two Zanbakuto, dual wielders, and then Ichigo becomes one, and it kind of makes sense because he is. His Quincy powers plus his hollow powers, right? Or, it maybe not those two specifically, but we get that it's, again, the soul, the swords are a reflection of your soul. And so it makes sense because he is like multiple. So he gets multiple. And so we think, okay, Ukitake now, he's got the Soul King's arm. So like, I can see how he has two also, because I think his technically is one sword that splits into two. So I like that, it is just him. But like he has the Soul King here who also comes to help, so I love that. It makes sense. For Kyoraku, I'm still trying to figure out like why does he have two? So before they revealed the Nao's family and stuff, I was like thinking, okay, maybe he has one sword, and then she's like asking for her sword back or whatever. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's just using her sword somehow. But no, it's that his sword was like hiding hers. Inside of itself. I don't know. But I do love that they use the designs from the filler arc. Obviously, I know that was, I don't know if it was canonized after the fact or if Kubo himself created those designs. But either way, I love that they're bringing back, it's filler content technically, so I like that they're canonizing it in a way. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out why does he have two swords? And then from last episode with him, I was thinking, okay, maybe it's because like before we learned the backstory, I was thinking, okay, maybe he's like a father, because his stuff is all like children's games, and the way he was talking about like when a child grabs your hand and you can't let go, or you go until you're dead basically. So I was thinking, okay, maybe he's like a widower, and he's like he lost a child somehow, or like and now he's his child. I don't know. Obviously that got disproven a little bit, but I still kind of see it of like, I don't know, it's still a weird thing of his soul should reflect, and maybe it is, and I'm reading too far into it now. But all that trauma about like losing a loved one, for example, losing his wife, quote unquote. It's more about his sister-in-law, if anything. So I think that's interesting that the sword is like jealous of that relationship somehow. So all that to say, this I'm gonna rewatch this episode, especially during the editing process, and try and figure out, okay, what the fuck's going on. But I really loved it. I think visually, the her sword and the reflection, the sparkles and shit. Okay, we need to talk about the Labaro's form. Like, as far as like the spectacle of the episode, I think it was toned down, and maybe that's kind of why I was like about it. These last couple episodes really, and I think that's really why I stopped watching Bleach last year. I still love the show, don't get me wrong. I'm excited to see how it ends. Obviously, refresher, I have read the whole of Bleach back when it was being written. I was in college, freshman year, and I think it ended in 2016ish, not 2016, 2012. I forgot what year, how old I am. Back in 2012, I was reading week to week, and so I did finish up 1,000 Year Blood War, but I remember major parts. I remember like beats. I obviously know how it ends, but like I remember beats. So getting it filled in here is really interesting to me. But I don't know where I was going with that tangent, other than these last couple episodes. Why I stopped watching last year was just because the spectacle, I think, has kind of simmered down a little bit. There are still some great moments, but it's so like heady and so what the fuck is happening right now that I'm just kind of like a bit lost. And maybe once I get it kind of explained and understand it more, I really love these episodes. But that's kind of what stopped me, was like, okay, here's the hand of God, and here's him, and he's got these swords, and his Bankai is a children's game, and it's this play about his a lover or whatever. I don't know. It just all didn't make sense to me, and so I'm still getting that here. I'm gonna finish, obviously, but that's kind of what slowed my roll. Was just like, I don't understand what the fuck is happening right now, and there's not a lot of like action, cool set pieces to watch either. The animation hasn't gotten worse, but it is just like, again, kind of things happen. And for a second, when little caterpillar, I don't know what the fuck you want to call it, his angel form, like there was just a shot of him just like blinking or whatever, and he was just like craning his neck. I was like, this could be like a 90s anime in a good or a bad way, I don't know, but it just felt like I was like transported back to like older generation of anime. But as far as like Lilibaro and his angel form, I have to say, for as much credit as I can give Kubo for like having different ethnicities and different people, showing a variety of skin tones and depicting them pretty well, fashionably, and like not racist caricatures or anything, other than maybe Nanana. But he doesn't really exist for that long. What I'm trying to say is, as much as there are a lot of black characters in the show, it's kind of this is 3 for 3, right? Of black characters having a weird transformation and like to this. I don't know what it's trying to say. I don't know if there is a correlation or if it's just weird that it happened 3 times. Because we have who's our first one? Zomari. He's a really cool badass Espada, and then he turns into like a pumpkin. I know it's like witchcraft and shit, but still, it's just like, okay, that's a choice. And then we have, what's his face? Blind Tosin. Very cool design. Very cool that we have like, not that it's cool that he's a black guy in the enemy team, but it's just a very interesting design character. Blind man, awesome. And then he turns into like the Fly. It's like obviously that's part of his character, so you can forgive that because it is his whole thing of like, before he was blind, he could see a lot better, and now that he is, he's lost his humanity and all that stuff. I get the metaphor and all that, so I can forgive Tosin looking like that. But then we have Lilibaro here, who is again like the very suave. He's calm, collected. He is the sniper, and then he just kind of goes weird. He had the weird like pupa form last episode, and then this one he's like a caterpillar. I don't get what's going on. And then I didn't like that his character changed to his personality traits. But I guess it is because of his, the corruption of power, and same thing with Tosin. Maybe I don't know. I just have to mention it because it is kind of funny. Like it keeps happening with these black characters, and I'm not trying to make it a race thing, but it also kind of feels like a race thing a little bit. I just had to, you gotta talk about it, right? It's not a good or bad thing. I don't think I'm educated enough to have an opinion about it, other than I'm seeing something. I'm seeing a pattern. I don't know. I don't know if I should feel offended or not. But yeah, what was going on with that caterpillar? It's not even like a caterpillar. He's like a bird, just with a really long neck. I didn't get it. And again, maybe it is more metaphor. I liked last episode where he was, he was the God's chosen. He was the first, whatever, the messenger. And if we're doing the allegory of like Yuhabaha is Jesus or whoever, Yahweh, he's God, quote unquote. So I can see that, if Lilibaro and the other Stern Ritter are technically angels, then Lilibaro being the first, he's like the biblical angel. I can kind of see that, biblical angel, whatever. Is that the term? When they're like, oh, they're unknowable, they have all the eyes and stuff, right? And they're just a massive wings and flesh and all that. Like they're not the stereotypical I am pretty, right? And so I like that they did that with his transformation last episode. But then it's just, where does this worm thing come from? The bird? That kind of lost me. So that's why I had to mention the thing about him being black character too. Is just like, where are we going with? Why is it always the black characters that have these weird transformations? That's all I wanted to say. Anyways, I'm excited to see where we go for next episode with Baz B. Unrelated to anything going on with these episodes, and I hope I'm wrong, but I'm really curious where the fuck the Fullbringers are. Like, obviously we saw Ruruka and Yukio and how they're involved. I wasn't expecting them to be involved, so that was a really cool, exciting moment for me. It was like the cameo of them. But in the very first core, we got, okay, Ganju has found Tsukishima, Ginjo, and the other one. I forget his name. Time guy, right? He found them in Soul Society, and so like we're gonna go through a training arc. But then we have Ganju with us now, and where are those three? What the fuck are those three doing? So I really hope they get their come up and like they get to do. I don't expect them to win a fight or anything. I don't remember them from the actual manga, so I don't know if they do have any part to play. But I want a little scene of them like, hey, we're here. We're maybe they're defending Soul Society. Maybe they're I don't expect them to do anything really. If we just get like a little Yukio Ruruko kind of moment with them, it's just like, hey, they exist. I would be happy because it is kind of a glaring thing. Like, this is supposed to be the perfect ending, the resolution to everything Bleach is the 1,000-year blood war, right? And we get all the loose ends tied up. You introduced the fact that their Fullbringers are here. So why don't you use them? It would be one thing if you just never talked about them again. But the fact that you said, hey, specifically Ganju found them, I'm kind of like, okay, Ganju, what happened? Did you lose them? Where'd they go? So I don't expect, I don't know. I do expect them to show up. I want them to show up. I don't expect them to show up in these next couple episodes, but maybe, I need them to show up before the end of 1,000-Year Blood War though, because it's kind of glaring. Anyways, excited to see Baz B. I'm assuming it's versus Hoshwell. I'm assuming Baz B's gonna die. But I'm excited to see where we go because, again, the only spoiler I know is that this kind of made people like Baz B a lot, and I can get the feeling because they have shown him a lot through this, and he has a very unique character design. He has the Grimmjow treatment a little bit, so I'm excited to see, like, are they going to make me care about him enough to, like, where I care about Grimmjow or, like, Ulquiorra, If they can do that with Baz B, that would be cool, because right now I don't really care. I like the Quincy's that are on our side are fun. Lil Toto, she's probably like the sleeper favorite of mine. Baz B, eh. And then Zombie Girl, I forget her name. Giselle, she's okay, but like I don't really love them. If they die, they die. But I'm also kind of like, you guys are kind of too little too late. You guys did a lot of murder, and now we're just gonna be okay. Especially Giselle, she's like massacred hundreds of these people. I'm sure that they all have high body counts, but specifically Giselle, we have seen her with zombie hordes. We know that she has killed a lot of people. We know what kind of person she is because of her treatment of Bambi. So like, I don't, as much as it's cool that she's on our side, she's got to go. She's got to go too. I'm sorry. I want Baz B to feel. I want whatever moment. I'm talking too long. I want Baz B to make an emotional impact on me. I'm excited to see you in the next episode. Thanks for joining me. You can tell us in the comments below if you have any information about this fucking family tree, anything about the episode to make me understand it more and like love this episode. Please tell me everything about this episode, because I'm really trying to understand it and like it, but I'm also just kind of like, okay, please, we need to move on. Anyways, speaking of moving on, have a good night. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.